Hi, this is János, this is Real World Audio, and today I'm going to have a look at void pipes and the positioning of the driver on the pipes, especially when you fold them. So Patrick Grantham 8800, he asked this excellent question. In the examples in this video, the position of the driver changes, and here he's referring to my previous video. Where did it go? I think right now it's taking me to the video, so that's the it takes time to load. What? I'm not sure what's happening here. Anyway, this should be in this video, and like going back here to the comment, he is asking, in the straight pipe the driver is central. Folding the pipe backwards, the driver is nearer to the bottom. Folding forwards, the driver is nearer to the top. So what effect does this have, or is it not important? This is an excellent question, and the answer is yes, it does have an effect. And actually the effect is that the driver position has on a folded pipe, because he is asking now that once we fold the pipe, then the position is not the same as it was compared to the straight pipe. So what changes now? Two things change. One of them, and actually those two things are defined, one of them defined by the frontal output of the driver, and there the position of the driver compared to the faceplate, it has an impact on the baffle step loss, and putting it higher or lower will change how the baffle step loss behaves, at what frequencies it happens. And the second one is that the rear pressure of the driver that goes inside the cabinet, depending on what part of the pipe length the driver is, there will be different frequency cancellations happening inside the pipe. And how that translates is that it will impact how the bass response works and how it interacts with your room. So basically, by looking at where the driver exactly compared to the center of the pipe, is it higher or lower, or I would say how much distance away is it from the center position, it will have like a different frequency cancellations. If you move it equal distance in either direction, it will have the same effect, because the same frequencies will be affected if it goes, like, let's say 5 centimeters above the center or 5 centimeters below the center. It will be same frequencies, just reversed, like, or the top portion of the pipe or bottom portion of the pipe, but the same frequency is affected. Just as you go more away from the center, these frequencies will be more distinct where the cancellations occur, and that is going to affect the bass response. So where you have cancellations and where you have strong output from the cabinet. And I would say, when I design a pipe, I look at the buffer step loss, and I design it, the position of the driver, to match up with the output characteristics of the driver, so to make it so that the output remains the most linear or most neutral in the mid-range region. You don't want any kind of like strong heaps, like if there's like a big like 2 kilohertz hump or something like that, you want to position it that you don't have that hump. Or if the driver has like a hole at 2 kilohertz, then you can position it so that the whole gets some extra amplification with your baffle. And so that's how I like to design it, and it depends on the actual driver, because every single driver has different frequency response in the mid-range. They have different holes, different dips, different humps, and you want to make those holes and humps work best with the front baffle to remove any kind of excesses. And that's my primary criteria with the void pipe driver placement. And when you look at people's advice in general on the web, what you see is almost exclusively people are looking at the base response, and they're not looking at the mid-range output. And they look at the base response by modeling that, depending on where the driver is exactly at the pipe, then you can model which frequencies will be cancelled and which will benefit from that actual placement, and they will do it so to make it work the best with whatever they want to desire in the base response. However, the problem with that is that if you just go by that, yeah, you might optimize the base, but if you didn't pay attention to the mid-range, it will be, I would say, almost all for nothing, because if you have the best base available but your mid-range is problematic, you will get rid of the speaker in short term. However, if you optimize for a very good mid-range, then actually by such things as different speaker placement, you can actually put the speakers can find spots in your room that will work well, so to how to compensate like the room modes. So if there's your pipes cancel certain frequencies, you put it into those modes of the room where your room naturally amplifies those frequencies, and then you get the two effects cancelling out each other, and you have neutral output in that frequency region. And I would say that's kind of one of the secrets of void pipes and folded pipes, is that by placing them you can really make the base naturally work with your room modes while you have your mid-range constant, and just really nice, good quality when you properly took care of the faceplate of the cabinets. So I think that would be my short and long answer to this question and observation. Thank you, Patrick, for your question. And actually, by the way, I have had experiences with building folded void pipes, where in case one it had just outrageously good base, and I just did it just by calculating the placements in my head and what just looked right to me. That's where I went with, and it had just one of the best quality bass I ever heard in a reasonable priced system. Actually, I built that cabinet for my brother. It used Radio Shack drivers, and he put it on the TV, on a Philips Trinitron screen, CRT screen TV, and it had outrageously good quality bass. It just like insanely good, and it kind of like broke logic how good it sounded. And I also have my AOs, and with those AOs, it doesn't have that prodigious bass. So if I just set them up as I would set up normal speakers, then they are definitely mid-rangey, but at the same time the quality of the bass is noticeably better than even modern speakers, which are like $5,000 to $8,000 higher current speakers driven by refined solid state amps. And yeah, they do more quantity bass, but the quality is way better with the AOs. And even though the quantity is not as much, so it's not going to act as an equalizer. So if you are listening to a material where they cut down the bass, it's not going to manufacture it for you. And however, it is there. So if someone has sensitive hearing and you have like a really good sensitivity in the bass, then having that curve that the bass seems to roll off, it won't impact you in a negative way. It will still be very, very much enjoyable, and it will give you the benefit that you can listen to it for much more prolonged time. However, I'm pretty sure that if I use some computer calculations to calculate, to optimize the position of the driver for maximum bass output, I would have get more bass out of it. But how it sounds, I prefer it the way it is, and I can get much more prodigious bass out of it by just pushing them back closer to the wall, and then it just has not just like that really lush big bass, but also that amazing big image that you get at like a real concert, or when you have like a piano and you have a concert piano playing, it renders a fabulous concert piano. No, not at the same volume and dynamics as a real world piano. No, I don't think there's many systems on planet Earth that can render that. I don't think there's any that can truly reproduce a concert piano in your room, exactly how a concert piano sounds. But just to have a credible impression in the area of harmonic content, tonality, and just getting the same image. I mean, not just image, but the same idea, how the music translates when it hits you, when it comes from a piano. It will be very similar when I put the AOs on close to the floor. I mean, wall. Well, they are on the floor. Just putting them next to the wall, it just makes them appear like really, really huge, really big speakers. And of course, yeah, that takes care of the pinpoint imaging. There's no more pinpoint imaging when you do that. But try listen to any and every acoustic instrument or people singing or playing. There's no pinpoint imaging in real music. Pinpoint imaging is the artifact of modern audio gear, and it's something that's not right. But it's the standard, and that's what everyone wants to hear. And of course, when you push the speakers back to the wall, you are not going to hear that. And I will have a lot of comments saying here, János, you are insane to push the speakers to the wall. And I would say, yes, I would be insane if I would be pushing commercial speakers which were designed to stand in your room, you know, at the optimal place where most audiophile speakers are optimized to be placed like away from the wall, like 3 feet, like a meter from the wall, and like 80 centimeters from the side. That's where most commercial speakers are designed to work for. And if you push them near the wall, they don't sound right. And it's not just a blanket thing that if you have any speakers, you push them to the wall, you're going to have a big image and it will sound like real life concert going on. No, for audio gear that was optimized to sound the way it sounds, that will make their sound perhaps in most cases a broken sound. But if you have like a void pipe where because of the driver placement you might have such and also not just the driver placement, room interaction as well, you might have like the bass roll off too much, place them next to the wall, and then you will have really copious bass and just really good sound. So I think that's my take on the driver placement, and I say there you cannot really go wrong. My priority is to design for the mid-range output, because doesn't matter where you put it, you are going to have that buffer step loss occurring at any position. So that's not going to change by changing the position, but you can totally transform how the bass sounds by changing the position of the cabinets, changing the toe-in, changing the height of the cabinets. That's really huge. So thank you, Patrick, for your question, and thank you for listening and watching this video. And please comment your experiences that you have with folded pipes and driver placement, and I think everyone would be really happy to learn of your experiences as well that you had, if you had, with these speakers. Thank you, team. Bye bye.